I wonder what would be the other important directions that India should be taking in the years to come if India has to fulfill her role as a civilizational leader amongst the nations of the world. Education, politics, culture itself for sure. What, Dr. Singh, would be some of the other important directions?
Well, healthcare.
Healthcare.
Even our definition of health
Yes.
is not the same as the Western definition of health.
Right.
We have certain unique things, and even look at swasthya.
Right.
The word of swasthya is so deep because it just touches every level.
Right.
Arogya itself is a
Right.
very deep and beautiful
Right.
term. To swasthya takes you from a physical, purely physical way of looking to a psychological way of looking, to an even existential way of
Right.
looking at health.
Right. And to a spiritual way.
To us, and eventually it becomes a spiritual state, which is how we saw health. Compare that with healthcare as it is practiced today, and you'll see the vast gap, the chasm. Now, Ayurveda and attempts are being made of bringing Ayush. I dare say even Ayush is being brought in a westernized way.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be the sharpest, the best in science, to study what is really good and true to our systems and see how it applies to our culture, our ambience, our nature, our genetics, our food, our habits. That requires a scientific outlook, which is a true scientific outlook,
Mm-hmm.
which is not colored by an objective way only of looking at the world.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about subject and object. So the Western scientist sees himself against the world, the
Right.
Cartesian
Right.
model, the
And-
Newtonian model.
Yeah. And as an observer, detached from what is being observed.
That's right. Without himself
Yes.
being part of
Yes.
that experiment
Right.
or that study. We had a different approach to science in which the observer was part of the
Yes.
whole study. The subjective is not different. The world is not cut up into slices,
Right.
but is seen as a whole.
Right.
Now, from that, a different kind of science emerges, and we are seeing that even in Western medicine, Western sciences. We see that in quantum physics, new ideas coming up that attempt to see the world as a whole, right? Ourselves as part of the
So
whole.
the holistic, unitary worldview.
Yes. So a more integral health system
Right.
that is coming from our own genius, from our own nature or swabhava,
Right.
would be what would be appropriate for us, with a truly scientific approach, which is science as vijnana.
Right.
Science not as an attempt to cut up the
Right.
butterfly, but the ability, the wisdom, the insight, the intuition to see the truth.
Right.
Because vijnana is eventually about the truth.
Right.
If we can approach that, yes, we should bring westernized approaches wherever needed, and we have to be truly holistic about it, but we should also study our own indigenous systems of medicine and find what is true and good there and bring it. Right now, we are seeing a system run amok. Healthcare is really not being practiced in a very scientific way. Even in the allopathic system of medicine,
Right.
the system has kind of gotten skewed to a very
Corporate-centered,
corporatized, commercialized way that is truly not a healing approach. In my sphere, see so many disasters in healthcare. In my own family, how healthcare is practiced. And this is not, even by standards of Western medicine, we are nowhere near where we should be. So I think that should be changed. Again, the approach should be the same. Discover what is the relevance of each approach, treatment in our milieu, and then adopt it or reject it. So again, centers of healing should be created.